Good morning or good afternoon. So this is the video that's going to show you how to create the handout if you don't have a printer at home. So in order to create the handout, you are going to need a ruler at least. So by now, hopefully you have your ruler. If not, you need to go and get one or some type of way to make some measurements. If you do have a printer at home, just make sure that when you print this out, you print it out the portrait style, not the landscape style. And that's going to give you a little bit more space to work with. So this is it. This is the handout that's required for this assignment. And it's just the mouth of the character Finn, I believe, because I think Jake is the dog. And where that mouth is pretty important. So if you're recreating this handout, you just have to make sure that you put it in the right place. And I'm going to try to help you do that as accurately as possible. So the reason you need a ruler is because we're going to measure from the edge of the paper to the mouth to know how far we have to go. And right at the very top, I think the best way to measure is with the centimeters side of your ruler, which is this side. And the reason I think that's best is because that is perfectly aligned with the 10. So it's 10 centimeters. So you go to your paper, your copy paper, and you go to the 10, and you hold it there, and you're just going to make a little line. Now right now, that line where you make it isn't super important. So like, let's say if you measured from down here, that line, well, first of all, you shouldn't, right? You should kind of be a little bit higher than midway through the paper. But if you did it down here, it doesn't matter because we're gonna get like longitude, latitude type of measurements, meaning we're gonna measure from the bottom of the paper up, from the top of the paper down, from the right of the paper to the left. And that's gonna give you the same spot, like every time, once you make those lines. So when you're measuring this side, I would switch back to the inches because that lines up perfectly with 4 inches. So on this side, you want to measure this side of the paper, put it on the 4, and we are going to make a line right there. Now it's time to measure from the top. Hopefully we get lucky and it either lines up directly with the centimeters or with the inches. So we're going to measure from the top of the paper. Now if you don't have this, then you just listen to my measurements and execute it and you're going to get the same results. I'm just showing you how I'm doing this. So I think that's pretty fair on 20 centimeters and a half. 20 centimeters and a half. So on your paper at home, you're going to go 20 centimeters and a half. And you're going to make a line. And now all that's left is to measure this from the bottom. And again, hopefully it lines up with something well. And it does. We're in luck. So it lines up pretty well with the 6. So right there from the bottom, from the 6, you are going to put the 6 at the bottom of your page, 6 inches. And you're just going to make a line. Okay. You're going to realize that gives you this little rectangle. Now, in that little rectangle, you can draw the mouth. And I don't know how well you can see that, but it's perfect. So by getting the measurements from the left, the right, the top, the bottom, you got a perfect spot of where you're gonna put the mouth. So I'm shining a light under my little box just to show you. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's really close. And it'll be good enough for what you need. And that's the little rectangle that we just created. And that is the idea behind this. So now that you have your rectangle, you have to draw the mouth in. I'm gonna do that for you. Well, I'm not gonna do it for you, but I'm gonna show you how to do it. So we do kind of want to fill out the whole space. So from the top here, you're gonna go down, follow the line. You're gonna go up. We did, when I checked on through the light, it did go out a little bit, so feel free to have it go out a little bit. The top is gonna go up, it curves in. And then you can leave a white space for a tooth. There's 3 teeth at the top. And I'm sorry, 4 teeth at the top and 4 teeth at the bottom. And those are just represented by little white spaces. And you could put them in just like this. And then a white space for the tongue. And you could shade the rest of this area with your pencil. And then you can go ahead and erase the box. And though it's not perfect, it will work. And the reason you need to do this is so that the whole drawing fits in one sheet of paper. I carefully designed this so it pretty much takes up the whole page. That's how you create the handout for this assignment. I hope you guys have your ruler, because without your ruler, honestly, I don't know how you're going to do this. I guess you're just going to have to try to draw it, but I'm just going to deduct some points for not being ready with your materials. Because you're probably, if you draw it yourself, unless if you draw it very small, you're probably not going to be, you're going to go beyond the paper. And that is not what I want for this assignment. So guys, that's how you create the handout. I hope that most of you have a printer and could just print it out. And I hope that those of you who do not have a ruler, at the very least, so that you can create this handout. Once you're done with this handout, you need to go to the demonstration video and you start there. I'll see you in class. Bye.